Good afternoon. William here, broadcasting live from this is the cage my family keeps me in, especially on rainy days like today. My paws tend to get a little bit muddy, so I'm just kidding. I'm in my trailer. This is where I like to come. Um, this is where I like to come uh, on. Sorry, my notes are. This is where I come when I need some quiet or a little bit of alone time. Especially, it's kind of hard for the kids to find me in here, especially when I park it a couple of miles away. But over the next 30 minutes, we're going to talk about. Wait, what? 5 minutes? I'm sorry, we've only got 5 minutes. Okay. All right, we're already running late, so I'm running out of time, so I guess I better get going here. I was asked to read and give some thoughts specifically on Matthew 27, verse 62 through 66. Let's begin by reading the passage. The next day, the one after preparation day, the chief priest and the Pharisees went to Pilate. Sir, they said, remember that while he was still alive, the deceiver said, after 3 days I will rise again. So give the order for the tomb to be made secure until the third day. Otherwise, his disciples may come and steal the body and tell people that he had been raised from the dead. This last deception will be worse than the first. Take a guard, Pilate answered. Go make the tomb as secure as you know how. So they went and made the tomb secure by putting a seal on the stone and posting the guard. This world can be an overwhelming place, and it often seems like it's overshadowed by sickness, natural disasters, or any number of possible tragic events. It just can be overwhelming. And there's the bickering, the constant fighting fought in arenas where lies and deceit are commonly used as tools to get ahead. In Matthew 27, verses 62 through 66, we see the same thing. A fear that one group of people is going to gain power over another group, and that the power would be gained by the way of a hoax. What the Pharisees did not realize was that this was no hoax, and that Jesus was far more than just an ordinary man. For some, the time spent immediately after Jesus' death was a time of extreme sorrow. Most of us have experienced and are familiar with those feelings, where pain and sadness weigh so heavy on our souls. In the days after a loved one dies, we are completely consumed with the experience and the emotion of losing someone that we loved. Jesus' friends, families, and followers must have been consumed by the sorrow of losing Jesus and completely haunted by the way they had seen him die. Others were also consumed by Jesus' death, but for different reasons. These were the ones who yelled, "Crucify him," and called him a deceiver. The ones who petitioned Pilate to post a guard at Jesus' tomb. They feared someone would steal his body and falsely claim that Jesus had risen, as he had said he would, giving traction and life to a movement that they hoped would die with Jesus on the cross. I believe Jesus when he said, "Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do." They had no idea what they were doing, and as a result, they labeled Jesus, who is truth, as a deceiver. In our world, everyone has always been searching for the truth. Our world has been plagued by conspiracies and false information at the hands of those seeking power throughout all of our recorded history. It is in our nature to want proof and evidence clearly showing that we are being told the truth and that no one is pulling a fast one on us. Today, we use our high-tech devices to secretly record conversations or use surveillance systems, which have been commonplace in both businesses and homes to obtain the proof that we need to obtain proof that we need to discover the truth. The Romans posted a guard at Jesus' tomb as their security measure to prevent what they feared was a hoax in the making. Them posting the guard actually backfired on them and provided proof to the world that there was no hoax or conspiracy. They were the ones to provide the guard to Jesus' tomb, proving to all that no one stole his body. And sometimes I wonder where Jesus' spirit was during this time between his crucifixion and his resurrection. Was he in paradise with the criminal that hung next to him, as mentioned in Luke chapter 23, verse 43? Or maybe he was preaching to imprisoned spirits, as referenced in 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 19? Or maybe both. Biblical scholars have probably debated this, and I am no scholar. In fact, it would probably be argued that I'm the exact opposite of a scholar. But I feel any time that we're pondering the life of, and death or the resurrection of Jesus, even when we don't have the answers, it's a good thing. So we do know more than those that were present after Jesus' crucifixion in Matthew chapter 27, verse 62 through 66 than they knew. We know it was not a conspiracy or a hoax. We know that Jesus suffered and died on the cross and then was risen 3 days later as he said he would. We know that we have seen the impact of the gospel of Jesus Christ in our families, on our friends, and the impact on the whole world around us. Before the resurrection, Jesus' disciples had not even yet realized the gospel. Before the resurrection, they were consumed with sorrow from seeing the one that they loved beaten, mocked, and forced to die a criminal's death on the cross. The doubters didn't understand the weight of the situation yet either. They were consumed with proving that Jesus was actually a deceiver. Little did they know that one day the same power that spoke life and the world into existence would breathe life back into Jesus' body. For now, they just need to wait another day in a world that I'm sure they felt was very overwhelming. To our Southside family from the Weatherfords, we love you guys. We miss you all. We hope you take care. Keep trusting the good Lord. And until we are able to meet again, we'll see you later.